The House will please come to order. We're going to go at ease while we wait for the other body, so we are hoping it's not that long. The House will be at ease. The House will please come to order. Moving on, Senate bills will be handled in the same manner as we did with the House bills. The clerk, however, will advise the House if a Senate bill is not before the House or if only certain amendments to a Senate bill are before the House. So the clerk will please at this time proceed with the calendar.
Senate bills with governor's recommendations. Page 22, Senate Bill 1127. An act to amend and reenact sections 18.2, 340.16, and other sections of the Code of Virginia relating to charitable gaming, conduct of instant bingo, network bingo, pull tabs, and seal cards.
The delegate from Fairfax, Chairman Bulova.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Speaking to the amendment.
Chairman Bulova, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and ladies and gentlemen of the House. Senate Bill 1127, as it went to the governor, addressed several issues dealing with charitable gaming. In particular, the legislation sought to close loopholes where gaming was allowed in social quarters that had nothing to do with the charitable organizations themselves. The bill also tightened up the definition of charitable organizations that can generate more than $40,000 per year and established a study to look at charitable gaming from a more comprehensive standpoint. What the governor's amendment does is add an enactment clause that allows charitable organizations grossing more than $40,000 per year that are no longer on the list of organizations now in the code to continue to operate through July 1, 2022, as long as they've had a permit issued in the last 3 years. And so what that will do, Madam Speaker, is allow those organizations to continue to operate until the General Assembly completes its study of charitable gaming and makes any recommendations in the form of legislation. Madam Speaker, I would move that we adopt the amendment.
Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Aird has voted. Delegate Avoli. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Yes.
Delegate Avoli votes aye. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Delegate Campbell votes aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Coiner. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Coiner votes aye, and Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Mugler.
Aye.
Delegate Mugler votes aye. Delegate Auroch. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 78, nays 21.
Madam Speaker.
Yes,
Madam Speaker?
Delegate from Loudon, Delegate LaRocque.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My pad is registering a no vote. I'm sorry I didn't unmute quickly enough to respond to the clerk.
Yes, it does indicate that you voted no. Is that what you want, or did you want to vote yes?
Madam Speaker, perhaps I heard Auroch. Sometimes when I hear Auroch, I think my name is being called.
Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Madam Clerk.
Ayes 78, nays 21, abstentions 0.
Ayes 78, nays 21, abstentions 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Senate Bill 1221, an act to provide for the operation of the Loudoun County Local Health Department.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Sickles. Oh, I'm sorry, actually, the delegate from Manassas, delegate from Prince William or Manassas, Delegate Rome.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it's the delegate from the Prince William portion of Manassas. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I move the governor's amendments, and I'd like to speak to the bill.
Delegate Rome, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, members of the House, this amendment, the governor's recommendation to SB 1221 was requested by Prince William County, the City of Manassas Park, and the City of Manassas, which collectively make up the Prince William Health District, which this includes about 525,000 residents. and they're requesting basically the same access that they're requesting basically the same thing that Loudoun County is, because of similar issues that motivated Loudoun to request the bill exist in the Prince William Health District. The amendment will allow for greater flexibility and administrative choices in tailoring programs' specific needs across our 3 localities. The project will continue the partnership with VDH, with the Virginia Department of Health, as they have a role in agreeing to their local health director. Major issues that the health district would like to address include a 27% vacancy rate on positions that can be addressed through local administration that may provide a greater emphasis on the prioritization of pay equity between state and county employees in order to improve recruitment and retention. It will also enable the reduction of duplicative administrative services and allow for an increase in efficiency and responsiveness to the community. And with that, Madam Speaker, I move passage of the governor's recommendation.
Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Aird. Delegate Bell. Delegate Campbell, J.L.
Delegate Campbell votes aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate McNamara. Delegate Auroch. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye. Delegate Ware.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 96, nays 0, abstentions 0.
Ayes 96, nays 0, abstention 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Page 23, Senate Bill 1245, an act to amend and reenact sections 24.2, 603, and other sections of the Code of Virginia relating to absentee voting, establishment of drop-off locations, pre-processing of returned absentee ballots before Election Day, cure process, accessibility for voters with visual impairment or print disability.
The delegate from Enrico, Delegate Van Valkenburg.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, members of the body, this amendment from the governor is a DLS technical amendment to fix a drafting error. What we are doing is striking one sentence that starts on line 43 and goes through lines 45 that will put it in the same posture as Senator Reeves' Senate Bill 1331 and my House Bill 1888. And so I would move that we accept the governor's amendment.
Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Aird.
Aye.
Delegate Aird votes aye. Delegate Brewer. Delegate Campbell, J.L.
Nay.
Delegate Campbell votes nay. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
Delegate Runyon votes nay. Delegate Simon.
Aye.
Delegate Simon votes aye.
Clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 55, nays 45, abstentions 0.
Ayes 55, nays 45, abstention 0. The governor's recommendations are agreed to.
Senate Bill 1252, an act to amend and reenact sections 58.1, 433.1, 58.1, 439.2, and 58.1, 26.
Madam, I think we passing this.
Sorry. This bill is not before us because it was not communicated to us by the Senate. Page 24, Senate Bill 1315, an act to amend and reenact sections 19.2, 120, 19.2, 163.03, 19.2, 299, 37.2809, and 37.2810, and other sections of the Code of Virginia relating to criminal proceedings, consideration of mental condition and intellectual and developmental disabilities.
The delegate from Richmond City, Delegate Bourne.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, speaking to the governor's recommendations.
Delegate Bourne, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, Senate Bill 1315 is the cognate to my House Bill 2047, in which we allow for the introduction of mental illness, intellectual or developmental disabilities in a criminal trial. The governor's recommendations change a provision that allow the court, rather than entering a temporary detention order, to enter or issue an emergency custody order. We passed this, seems like yesterday, but it was only a few hours ago, so I would urge the body to adopt the governor's recommendations.
Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Aird.
Aye.
Delegate Aird votes aye. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Levine. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye. Delegate Webert.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 65, nays 35, abstentions 0.
Ayes 65, nays 35, abstention 0. The governor's recommendations are agreed to.
Senate Bill 1339, an act to amend and reenact sections 9.1, 101, and other sections of the Code of Virginia relating to sealing of criminal records, penalties.
The delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Senate Bill 1339 is cognate to my House Bill 2113. I previously explained the governor's recommendations. Again, there are technical amendments that also provide flexibility to move up the date on the sealing of records if the Commonwealth is able to secure facilities to do so at an earlier date. I move that the governor's recommendations be adopted.
Shall the governor's recommendations be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Campbell, JL.
Nay.
Delegate Campbell votes nay. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 60, nays 40, abstentions 0.
Ayes 60, nays 40, abstention 0. The Senate recommendations are agreed to.
Senate Bill 1356, an act to amend and reenact sections 32.1, 127, 32.1, 162.5, and 63.2, 1732 of the Code of Virginia relating to hospitals, nursing homes, certified nursing facilities, hospices, and assisted living facilities, visits by clergy, public health emergency.
The delegate from Fairfax, Chairman Sickles.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, members of the body. As the clerk just mentioned, this is a bill that when we are under an emergency declaration, protocols, procedures, guidance must be developed so that clergy, rabbi, priest, imams can visit and communicate with people involved. The problem with the bill was that it was drawn to a code section that is no longer in effect. And so this is an amendment in nature of a substitute to do the same thing. It's a technical amendment, and I urge the body to vote aye on Senator Kagan's bill.
Shall the governor's recommendations be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Aird.
Aye.
Delegate Aird votes aye. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Delegate Campbell votes aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Delaney. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 100, nays 0, abstentions 0.
Ayes 100, nays 0, abstention 0. The governor's recommendations are agreed to.
Page 25, Senate Bill 1375, an act to amend and reenact Section 65.2, 402.1 of the Code of Virginia relating to workers' compensation, presumption as to death or disability from COVID-19.
The delegate from Norfolk, Delegate Jones.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Speaking to the governor's recommendation.
Delegate Jones, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, members of the House. This is identical to my House Bill 2207 that pushes up the date for retroactivity from September 1st to July 1st for first-line responders under the Workers' Compensation Framework for COVID. I would move adoption of the governor's recommendation.
Shall the governor's recommendations be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Aird.
Aye.
Delegate Aird votes aye. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 98, nays 0, abstentions 2.
Ayes 98, nays 0, abstentions 2. The governor's recommendations are agreed to.
Senate Bill 1381, an act to amend the Code of Virginia by adding a section numbered 18.2, 283.2, relating to carrying a firearm or explosive material within Capitol Square and the surrounding area into building owned or leased by the Commonwealth, etc. Penalty.
The delegate from Alexandria, Delegate Levine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Speaking to the governor's recommendations.
Delegate Levine, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. SB 1381 is identical to my HB 2295. The governor's recommendation is identical as well. It is the recommendation that magistrates be exempted from the prohibitions in the statute. I urge passage.
Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Aird.
Aye.
Delegate Aird votes aye. Delegate Brewer. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Nay.
Delegate Campbell votes nay. Delegate Carter. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
Delegate Runyon votes nay. Delegate Scott.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 52, nays 46, abstentions 0.
Ayes 52, nays 46, abstentions 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Page 26, Senate Bill 1395, an act to amend and reenact sections 24.2, 105, and other sections of the Code of Virginia relating to elections, prohibited discrimination in voting and elections administration, required process for enacting certain covered practices, civil causes of action, penalties.
The delegate from Newport News, Delegate Price.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I move adoption of the recommendations and speaking to that motion.
Delegate Price, you have the floor.
Thank you. Senate Bill 1395 is the Senate companion to my House Bill 1890, the Voting Rights Act of Virginia, and the exact same amendments changing cover jurisdiction to locality are being offered, and I would urge us all to vote yes.
Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Bourne has voted. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Nay.
Delegate Campbell votes nay. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Poindexter. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
Delegate Poindexter votes nay.
Delegate Poindexter votes nay.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 55, nays 45, abstentions 0.
Ayes 55, nays 45, abstentions 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Page 26, Senate Bill 1406, an act to amend and reenact sections 2.2, 221, and other sections of the Code of Virginia relating to marijuana, legalization of simple possession, penalties.
The delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Senate Bill 1406 is a cognate to my HB 2312, which was previously explained, legalizing simple possession of marijuana, which is an ounce or less. And there were other provisions that were explained previously. I move that the governor's recommendations be adopted.
Shall the governor's recommendations be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Batten. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Nay.
Delegate Campbell votes nay. Delegate Ferris.
Nay.
Delegate Ferris votes nay. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
Delegate Runyon votes nay. Delegate Watts.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 53, nays 44, abstentions 2.
Ayes 53, nays 44, abstentions 2. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Page 27, Senate Bill 1415, an act to amend and reenact sections 16.1, 253, and 16.1, 253.2 of the Code of Virginia relating to violations of protective orders, preliminary child protective order.
The delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Senate Bill 1415 is legislation that changes the punishment and sentencing requirements for a violation of a preliminary child protective order so that the maximum penalty is a Class 1 misdemeanor, and the court is no longer required to enter a permanent family abuse protective order upon conviction of a violation. Now, the governor's action and the governor's amendments provide that only acts or omission in violation of a preliminary child protective order that endanger a child's life or health are punishable by a Class 1 misdemeanor, while such acts or omissions that endanger a child's normal development are punishable as contempt. The governor's amendment also includes an enactment clause providing that the provisions of the legislation control over other legislation that we passed during the 2021 special session. This is to prevent any construction issue with House Bill 2012 carried by Delegate Campbell, which was identical to the legislation, but was signed by the governor before the amendments were developed. The governor's rationale is that the amendments eliminate the possibility of criminalizing situations that are better dealt with through the court's contempt powers. Providing for criminal liability for an act or omission that endangers a child's normal development could subject the parents to jail time and collateral consequences for acts of the legislature has not agreed to be crimes, like an abused woman taking too long to leave an abuser. As normal development is a term about which experts can and do disagree, the court's power to hold in contempt someone who violates this provision of a protective order absent any actual showing of harm is a more appropriate remedy. These amendments are supported by the Virginia Poverty Law Center, the Virginia Criminal Justice Conference, Virginia Sexual and Domestic Violence Action Alliance, the National Organization of Women, Families for Virginia, Legal Aid Justice Center, and the Virginia Progressive Prosecutors for Justice. I move that we adopt the governor's recommendations.
Shall the governor's recommendations be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Bloxham. Delegate Campbell, JL.
Aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Ferris.
Nay.
Delegate Ferris votes nay. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Corey. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
Delegate Runyon votes nay.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 69, nays 31, abstentions 0.
Ayes 69, nays 31, abstentions 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Page 28, Senate Bill 1436. An act to amend the Code of Virginia by adding in Article 2 of Chapter 1 of Title 23.1, a section numbered 23.1.110, and changes to other sections of the Code of Virginia relating to Department of Health, eligible healthcare provider reserve directory.
The delegate from Fairfax, Chairman Sickles.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Good evening. The governor liked Senator Hanger's bill to establish an eligible healthcare provider reserve director so much, he is suggesting that we adopt his amendment to put an emergency clause.
Hey, John?
And I would hope that we can join together in a bipartisan fashion and approve this emergency clause amendment.
Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Campbell, JL.
Delegate Campbell votes aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Cox. Delegate Ferris. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate McGuire. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 97, nays 1, abstentions 0.
Ayes 97, nays 1, abstention 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Senate Bill 1457, an act to amend and reenact Section 15.2, 2306 of the Code of Virginia relating to preservation of historic sites.
The delegate from Fairfax, Delegate Corey.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and members of the House, SB 1457 provides that any locality utilizing the urban executive form of government may include a provision in any ordinance adopted pursuant to this section that would allow public access to any such historic area, landmark, building, or structure or land pertaining thereto, or providing that no subdivision shall occur within any historic district unless approved by the governing body. That is the essence of the bill, and the governor has added an emergency clause to allow for the expeditious transfer of the property from River Farm to the Northern Virginia Regional Park Authority. I support the recommendation that this have an emergency clause and move its adoption.
Shall the governor's recommendations be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Campbell, JL.
Aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Cox. Delegate Ferris.
Aye.
Delegate Ferris votes aye. Delegate Freitas has voted. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 99, nays 0, abstentions 0.
Ayes 99, nays 0, abstentions 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to. The House will be at ease. The House will please come to order. The delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise for motion.
Leader Herring, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Having voted on the prevailing side on which we adopted the governor's recommendations on Senate Bill 1436 on page 28, I move that we reconsider the vote so a member can correct their vote.
Leader Herring moves that we reconsider SB 1436 found on page 28. As many as favor that motion will say aye.
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 Those opposed, SB 1436 will be reconsidered. Shall the governor's recommendation be agreed to? Madam Clerk.
Delegate Campbell, JL.
Delegate Campbell votes aye.
Delegate Campbell votes aye. Delegate Coiner.
Aye.
Delegate Coiner votes aye. Delegate Ferris. Delegate Head.
Delegate Head votes aye.
Delegate Head votes aye. Delegate Herring.
Delegate Herring votes aye.
Delegate Herring votes aye. Delegate Kilgore. Delegate Corey. Delegate Mullen. Delegate
Mullen votes aye.
Delegate Mullen votes aye. Delegate Runyon.
Delegate Runyon votes aye.
Delegate Runyon votes aye. Delegate Rush. Delegate Sumaira.
The clerk will please close the roll.
Ayes 95, nays 0, abstentions 0.
Ayes 95, nays 0, abstentions 0. The governor's recommendation is agreed to.
Madam Speaker, that completes the calendar.
The delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House adjourn sine die.
The delegate from Alexandria, Leader Herring, moves that the House adjourn sine die. As many as favor the motion will say aye.
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 Those opposed,
State laws, confidentiality.
the motion,
with regard to the records that are
the motion
to
is
be
agreed to.
maintained
The House stands
confidential under
adjourned
state
sine
law.
die.